Have you ever seen a Fed meeting like this? I haven't.
Not since about September of 2024. Remember,
I would go back even farther. I would go back to Wayne Angel like 30 years ago.
It's been a while. So this is one of those rarefied ones where the market's not fully priced. If they don't go, this will be the second most mispriced meeting heading into that meeting in the last decade. If they do go, this will be definitely the most mispriced in at least 20 years.
You say if they do go, if they do raise rates.
If they do actually raise interest rates.
What will happen to our listeners and viewers if they raise rates?
Nothing overnight.
I'm not so sure of that, but continue.
But, you will have rates higher. The markets will reprice. The markets will assume the Fed really means business. The markets will price in probably more than the Fed wants to go. So there is a little bit of a consideration among the Fed. Do you really need to kind of jerk markets around like that and actually create that mispricing?
Paul, to review here, we had somebody in the other day that's looking for 3 rate increases.
Yeah.
And Jay Hatfield's going the other way.
Other way.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. So, Gennadiy, what do you think the underlying view of inflation at the Fed is? Because we've got oil prices ripping up and down. We're up another 5% today. We were down 5-6% yesterday. They're all over the place. How do you think they view the underlying inflation in this economy?
So it's all about the core inflation, right? They typically ignore oil. They can't really at this point because it's been higher for longer. They've had oil shocks. They've had trade shocks. It's that core services inflation that they're worried about mostly. If that continues to be strong, I think that'll get them worried. So the tone around core services inflation has told us that the bar to hikes is lower. I don't think it's low enough for them to actually deliver a hike just yet. I think the next couple months will give them exactly what they need to know. If that core services number continues to stay high, I think hikes are absolutely on the table in the fall, even though that's not our baseline. We at TD Securities, we're expecting basically a hold for this year and next year.
Really?
But the risks are certainly rising to a hike later this year.
Dissents, do we care?
Yes.
If there are dissents, how many dissents there are? How do we think about dissents? Because before, we didn't really think about that too much.
Yeah, you've got a much more disparate committee. Warsh is not that consensus builder that we had under Powell, under Bernanke, under Yellen. We're not quite ready for this, I think, as a market. We do expect 2 dissents, Logan and Hammock. What we're watching as a signal is not that many signals that we can actually glean today, in the absence of forward guidance. If we get 3 dissents, 4 dissents, I think that would tell us hikes are coming relatively quickly.
4 would be
monumental.
Was Governor Waller's statements of 2-3 days ago, the game theorist out of Washington State, was that a indirect or off-mark dissent?
I think he is keen to get inflation under control. I don't know how keen he is to get it as fast as today. I think getting it today would be a little bit more reactive than we've typically seen out of the Fed.
Okay, but we got heavyweights coming here today. Gennadiy Goldberg, Ian Lingen, Michael Ball. Is Michael Ball going to drop by? His people said he'll drop by.
I think we do. We have
it's unbelievable.
Yep.
Doesn't he call up now 1-800 the president and say, stick with me here, I got to raise rates to establish that it's a Warsh Fed? In one fell swoop, he moves on from Powell.
So here's a very controversial opinion. I think this has nothing to do with Kevin Warsh. I think this has everything to do with the hawkish members of the FOMC. We know the hawks are loud. Their voices are growing. What we don't know is that core of the committee, those kind of careful middle ground members, are they convinced enough to actually follow the hawks into this? I don't think Kevin Warsh is doing a whole lot to keep that committee together. So what we're watching is, even Chair Powell, or former Chair Powell, I should say, which way is he going to vote? Is he going to be convinced to actually hike interest rates this time around? We don't quite think so. Not yet. I don't think he's seen what he needs to see.